Okay, it is Sunday afternoon. The NFL announced that there will be no Eagles game tonight. Kind of a disappointment for a lot of us football fans and people who love watching football in the snow. The rest of the country is going to be even more upset because they're not necessarily getting the snow and they're going to be home and they're not going to have anything to watch. They're not going to get to watch any football tonight that they're so accustomed to. Plus, they're looking forward to the Eagles. There's a lot of frustrated people, especially since they're postponing it for 2 days. And yet, here is another weekend big snowstorm. It seems to happen, I guess, about 80% of the time from the research I did last year, which is way higher than the percentage that you should get, obviously. So I don't know what's going on. It's just bizarre. I get a lot of comp days as a result of working all these weekends for the storms, though. Now, the computer models have been flip-flopping for days. That main model, the best model, the European, had the storm earlier in the week. All of a sudden, backed off, said it was going out to sea. And so at one point, it was Wednesday, there was no model that I know of in the world that was predicting a major snowstorm for the East Coast and for our area. Certainly none of the normal models that we use. And there are a number of them. So it's kind of understandable that forecasters went that direction, including me. And all of a sudden, the next day, the American model, main American model, the GFS, came back with this big snowstorm solution. And not just big snowstorm, like blizzard solution from nothing. So it was disbelieved by a lot of people. Totally disbelieved, thrown out. The folks in Washington who monitor the computer models even put out a statement saying that there was bad data in there, so don't trust it. That statement really ended up hurting. It hurt me, it hurt a lot of other forecasters, I'm sure, because we put less weight in that result. But at least I didn't give up then. At least there was a flicker of possibility. Then later in the day, as other models trickled in and got a little closer to the East Coast, a little stronger with the storm, then it became a little bit more clear that at least there was a chance of a major snowstorm. And by 11 o'clock on Friday night, I mentioned that there was an increasing chance of a major snowstorm for the I-95 area all the way to the Jersey Shore. And while a lot of other forecasters had still given up on it and waited until Saturday morning to start talking about significant snow accumulations. But it's a very difficult storm, a very complex storm. We'll go back and study this for years probably because of the complexity of it and the fact that the models flip-flopping. What was it that caused the European model to suddenly lose it? What was it that got the GFS to suddenly pick it up when others didn't? Now we're down to what we call the mesoscale, the small scale forecasting, and nowcasting, again, another term that we use. So there's obviously going to be more snow in New Jersey and less snow north and west of Philadelphia. That cutoff may be very sharp. So even in one county, there may be some place with 16 inches and another place with 6 inches, not that far away. Because what we're going to be dealing with this intensified storm is going to be banding. Bands, little curved bands of very heavy snow, a couple of inches of snow per hour at the maximum rate, or maybe even more, plus the possibility of the thunder snow, in which case the snow will fall even harder. So if you're under that band, especially if that band just keeps spinning in the same direction, you can keep piling up the snow. Well, if you're outside the band, on the east or the west, you're not going to get all of that snow that you're going to get right under the band. Now, another factor here is this storm is going to be moving fast enough so that the total accumulations will be limited to some degree, so that we're not talking about snow of over 20 inches in a large area like we had in some of the storms last winter, because the storms took longer. But in this case, there may be more wind with this storm, so there'll be more of an issue. It'll be closer to blizzard conditions, especially in New Jersey, later this afternoon and this evening. So stay tuned. There are always little surprises at the very least when you're coming up with these kind of snowstorms. These things are very, very intricate and complicated and just fascinating to be a part of.